If you scan them on your phone and you want them for later, we will be sending this out as an email as well. Okay, so what is okay. So I am going to open up actually I want to pull up an agent's account that I've been helping that's on a team do paid ads. It's a little bit better representation than my account.
Hello.
Okay. Really quick, as we kind of pull the room, who has done paid ads through Command in the past? Okay. So if you have been in there in the last even 30 days, it is totally different. And now you may feel like, oh, I don't know how to do that anymore. So that's the main reason why your leadership team brought me in is this is a totally different ball game. Same rules apply as far as like paid ads, why we want to do them, all of that, but the platform looks a lot different. So, okay, so I am pulling up first, I am going to go into my name and as a team, so again, personal will be all of what I'm about to tell you will apply. The reason I'm going through a team is because then it adds a little bit more if you are on a team as a rainmaker. So if I'm on a team, most likely I'm going to be running the ads through the team account. And so I am going to go and just click my team account. So that's how I can still be Chris Harper. He's an agent at KW Utah Realtors. I can be him personally, but then switch over to the team account. Now that I'm in the team account, if I go to settings, this is the boiler room of Command, I like to say, where all of the apps that you use in Command are connected. So down here under marketing automation, you'll have Facebook Ads Manager and a big alert that says Ads Manager connections have recently moved. To connect an account, follow the link to the paid ad setting. So there is multiple ways that you'll be able to access the new paid ads experience. This is just one of the ways. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to get in this way. And then at the end of the class, I'm going to show you how to get in the other way. So under paid ad settings, what it will do is it will open up the new experience. So this will look completely different than what you used in the past. The first thing that we are wanting you to do is connect your Facebook page. So here is your prerequisite. You have to have a Facebook account. Okay. I'm like, check that off in 2005. I was one of the first, right? With a university account. So you have a Facebook account. You also have a business page on that. If you don't have either of those, that would be something you're going to write down as homework today to get set up. Most people do have that checked off, but I just want to bring that up. Then I'm going to go click link a Facebook page. And then it's going to say to start here, continue with Facebook. So I am in Chris's account right now. I know all of you will be in your own, but here is where it's important. When I go click continue with Facebook, my personal account, Kimber Walton's account, is going to pop up because, or nothing is going to pop up because I'm logged out. But this account, whatever account I'm logged into will pop up, and that's where it's going to want to connect that account. So you just want to make sure those are the same. So yes.
So it's okay to go into our personal, not our business?
Yes, at this point, if it pops up your name, that's the Facebook account you want to associate with.
Okay, because it's that personal.
Uh-huh. Yep. The next, so I'm going to have to kind of walk you through this phase. The next section, it's going to say, do you want to opt into all future businesses? or any that you're affiliated with. Either are a good option, but I always select opt-in to all. That just shows that any account that I'm affiliated with that I want to run paid ads with at any given time will be an option. It doesn't mean that it's going to be connected to those extra pages. It's just the way to make sure all of them are connected.
So you want the now and future business.
Yes, now and future business. Thank you for clarifying the language, so I forget it off the top of my head. And then the third option is it will just have you select the business profile. So if I am Utah real estate group, I am so creative. I just made that up. If I am Utah real estate group, my page will pop up and I'm just gonna go click on that. And then you should get, at this point, I'm gonna jump back over to command. A bunch of like green check marks, like have green check mark. If you don't, that's okay. And I'm just gonna wait a second in case you're following along. So we're gonna go through those steps. So continue with Facebook, gonna pull up your personal account. You're just going to continue, opt into all future businesses. Find your Utah real estate, fill in the blank name of my real estate group page, select that, and you should get a bunch of green check marks. If you do not, that is okay, we can work on it. So I always, even though it says the green check marks, I like to just refresh the page, which is going back to clicking on Facebook pages. And then yours should look something like this, where it has the name, that is his name of his business account. And it says status unique. So this is ideally where we want this to be. This shows me that we can now advertise through the paid ads. Okay. So then I'm gonna jump over to dashboard.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes, and raise your hand, stop me if you have any.
okay, so therefore, you can paid advertisements through Facebook specific.
Mhm.
So is it going to be different in that you're doing it through Facebook, but it's going through command?
It is different in the sense of this is so much easier.
Okay, but you pay in the command rather than in the Facebook.
Yeah, you're basically duplicating the experience in here to make it a lot easier. It's connected automatically. So any leads you get, if you did ads independent in Meta, you'd have, let's say you got 20 leads, you'd have a list of leads.
Yeah. we
In
go
there,
directly in-
And then you gotta move them over here, and then we don't have auto follow-up.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a huge reason, that's a great question, those are huge reasons why you would wanna do this.
Right.
Let the reason of it's just so much easier be your guide, but there's a lot of other added benefits, yeah.
I think last week we heard that cost per lead is significant.
Yep, yeah, it definitely. I mean, we're talking an average of, usually it's under $3 a lead, at least the current metrics that we're seeing right now. And I will just tell you a really quick personal experience. So I was working with a team out of our Midvale office. They just came over from Century 21 and they were paying for leads through Ylopo. So they were paying a lot for Ylopo leads through, and then having it linked to Follow-Up Box, which they were paying another big chunk just to have that CRM. And when it came down to it, they were paying over $8 a lead, which is pretty significant, especially because they were putting in hundreds of dollars a month to this lead gen strategy. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so this is the first thing that I want to familiarize you with, is this dashboard. So note the colors. I love the color coding because it helps it be a little bit easier. So anything that's blue, so you guys see this little blue line that says includes Facebook lead form. That is meant to be a lead generating ad. And we'll explain that in a little bit. Anything that's yellow, that is meant to be, audience attracting, traffic. That was the word. I needed 3 words before I got to the right word I was looking for. Traffic ad. Okay. So both are beneficial. The lead ads, they are going to, when you make an offer for immediate response, they are going to immediately get a lead form that pops up right in front of them that has all their info populated from Facebook or Instagram, depending on where you capture them. And all they have to do is click submit, right? So that's very, it's very conducive of getting a lead. However, okay. However, the traffic ads, it is just whatever ad we're doing, we want you to be here. We want to get as many people as possible.
Hey,
to
Andrew, Mike
a
Layton,
landing
William, how are you?
page. Your website, that could be a
Good.
sign up.
You got a
Or
listing
a
on
specific
551
party that
42nd
you
Street,
need.
right on the corner.
The ad is meant to get people to that space. Okay. So does that make sense? The two different. It doesn't mean that you won't get a lead from the yellow ones. And yet, if you drop them just on your website, what you're doing is hoping that they go sign up for your website or that they find the lead capture form you got on there. Versus the other one, it's just gonna pop up right in their face. So those are the two different types. So one common thing when people aren't familiar with this and then they just go start spending money on paid ads is they go, I didn't get any leads from that, but they could potentially be picking the wrong one to do that. So the next thing is, after you understand the difference of those two, then it's just what am I trying to do is what you're gonna ask yourself. So the most common one that I would think people do, or that KW says people do, is either the listing single image video or the multi-image carousel. Those are the first two on the left. So the first one is really just putting in one single image or a video. Video was not a part of our paid ads experience previously. So that's a little exciting update. And then the multi-image carousel is for one listing, multiple pictures. The multi-listing, multi-image carousel is for multiple listings. So you would be sharing multiple properties on there. And then this one, the non-listing, that's where some of that content that I shared with that link at the beginning, that's where that would come into play, where you're really just like trying to get, you're putting out an offer, like here is the 5 reasons why like Salt Lake City is the best place to live. And when they go click that, I mean, obviously it has to be compelling, or people will be like, I want my info to find out that information. So that's where I would use something like that and use the content. And then the other ones we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. But the cool thing, another addition was Google Ads. So has anyone done Google Ads in the past? Okay. Do you have anything you want to share on that experience?
It sucks.
Okay.
It sucks.
I did not plan for. So is it because it was really,
No,
I
it's
mean,
easy
it
to
was
do, it's
hard
just
to
that
set
you're
up?
constantly, you know, if you put in a bid for a certain amount that you want to pay an ad, there's people that can bid higher.
Yeah,
You never know how that's gonna go, and you can spend a lot of money and not get anything out of it.
yes, it is one of the more expensive routes of doing ads for sure. That can definitely get more again into AdWords. We're gonna talk about just advertising in general on Google, which is a little bit more confusing if you do it on your own. And I'm gonna show you that that's easy on here. It is more of a long game though. It's more expensive. And it's not necessarily, you'll notice by the color coding, it's not that like lead capture. it's more, I need to be more places investment, and I'll show you a visual of that. Any questions at this point? This is, we kind of explain the general.
Just to throw it out there, so I
Yeah.
spent $2,500 a year for like 3 years in a row with Google.
Okay,
I went to a marketing company who put my face on every grocery cart at Smith's on South
Okay.
Street. And I did that for 4 years, and I got way more name recognition on doing that for my business than I did every year I spent on Google.
Google, yeah. And what I love about that, just from a marketing perspective, which is very, very smart, is A/B testing. So you do something and you don't just do something for 2 months and then go,
You can't-
it didn't work, also eat and nothing worked, I'm getting out of the business, right? Like, that can happen. Some days we feel like that internally.
You can spend a lot of time on
Yes.
your shoulder against the wheel and
Figure out.
wheel.
Make it happen. Like, no, but that's a good example of, you did an A test. You did it for a long enough duration where you could see in the setting that you did it and the money that you spent
Sure.
versus another thing, you knew where to move your lead generating efforts and dollars. So that is a good lesson. I did. To teach. Okay, so we're gonna walk through the tiny little logistics, just that this will take 5 minutes to walk through how to do a Facebook ad. So I clicked on the first one, which is going to be on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm gonna go select a listing. So I picked one that was in your office, we'll see if it easily pulls up, and if it doesn't, it's a learning opportunity for us to see how these work. So these are the things that we can search by. Listing agent is always going to be the easiest in my mind because names are easier than coordinates. I have searched an address. The MLS had DR. I wrote drive, so it wasn't pulling up the property. So I would always start, especially if it's your own listing, just start with your own name. Okay, got a few. Which one did I write down? Okay, so this is the one I wrote down. So I picked this Cooper listing. And so I'm gonna go select that. So what you'll see is over on the right, just by clicking the little button, finding the property, it's gonna pull up here on the right. This is where we get a little bit more into the theory of, and I always say the gospel according to Kimber. I do have a lot of experience, but this is just my opinion. Also, I've done a lot of ads for other agents, and this is always going to be more of a lead capture than if I just left it like this. So let me explain that. So I'm advertising this property. I have the address, I have the location, and I have the price. So personally, I couldn't point out Cooper. I said it right. Hooper. I'm like, where? I like to tell like 36 years. Okay, so really, I don't know how to do that. Also, I don't know how to point it out on the map, and maybe my price range that I'm searching in is not 700,000, right? So when I scroll past your Facebook ad, although beautiful, great house, whatever, I'm not going to click on it because I know that that's not where I'm looking for a house. That's not the price. It's almost like clearing out people. So if it was that I was trying to sell this house, that might be good, right? Because I want to find people that want to buy a house in that city and win that price range. But if I am focusing on just lead generating and helping people that want to buy houses, then I want everybody. Because there's somebody that saw that ad that's looking at 500 in a different city. And so I want them to give me their info. So because of this, I personally leave out location most of the time. And I always leave out price. So
It makes people angry, but it makes them put their information.
However, yeah, but you can make it nice, you can make the words nice, you don't. And I'll tell you, great point. I will tell you how you make that person mad, because at first they're gonna just be like annoyed.
Well, some people have just like, when people have done it, I've seen it, they'll go in there and put comments. Why can't you just post the price? What's the price? Post the
And
price.
you're like, great.
Then I go, "Who's the comment on that? You're bumping up.
Two people can play that game,
But
yeah.
that price can change.
Yes, yep. And what I like, where you're not gonna make them mad is if you say like, click for photos, for additional photos, price and info. If you immediately land them on your page, then they're okay, because that's what they wanted, they just wanted the pictures and they wanted to, oh, dang it, 700,000, right? But what you did was land them on their page, give them what they wanted, they're now in your funnel, and you call them and be like, oh, not 7, okay, well, great, 530, cool. I can actually help you with that too. Where you're gonna make them mad is if you land them on like kw.com, and now they have to go, they don't even know that, I can't search the property, I don't even know that, I don't even.
Right.
Now I'm just mad, now I'm gonna go find that person on Facebook. And send a message. Did you have a question, Kaylee, or a comment?
Yeah, kind of. So on here, like you can populate like the city or price.
Uh-huh,
Does that automatically pull, like if you have a price adjustment?
it should pull from the current MLS data.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Even though I know we were talking about not, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and again, there could be times where it's applicable. I'm just telling you, you have to ask, and this is kind of going back, withdraw from Facebook ads, withdraw from command. You're advertising. What is your offer? You're the one sitting in front of the computer. What do people that are scrolling through Facebook, like, what offer do you have for them? They want to just look at pictures, they want to look at more pictures, they want to see that house is really cute, like, but how much is it? Like, that's the only information you have to hold behind the curtain to get leads.
Does
Yeah.
it populate all the required information for posting ads in order?
Yes, which is your DBA and all of that is down here. Yeah. Okay, so, quickly, so listing location, this is the area I'm gonna target, so I can still target the area, right, of like where I'm selling or where the listing is. Or I can do a custom location, doesn't let you go below 15 miles for fair housing. And then under media, you can select either an image or a video. For images, it will pull in the MLS photos up to 20. So when you have that multi-image listing, maybe you have one of those really big houses that, it's like by the time you get to the backyard, you're at like photo 40. But you really want to post a picture of the backyard because there's a beautiful picture of the creek. That's where this will pull in the first 20 photos of the MLS. So if you ever need to upload a custom image, you can do that as well. And what that looks like on multiple image listings is you're gonna have this box 5 times. So if you wanted to go like, I don't, on the 5th picture, I want that cool backyard picture, I'm just gonna go upload my own custom image. Usually this is gonna be good because most of the time as agents, we put the pictures we want people to see the most, 1 to 20, but again, sometimes there's just a lot of house to show. And so then you'll upload the custom. Okay, text. So this is, I want to show you a couple of cool features. Specifically, you can now write ads with just through command. So it will, you can change the style to be artistic, practical, vibrant, caring, emotional.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so this will pull, what it does is it pulls somewhat of the agent remarks, not the agent remarks, sorry, public remarks, pulls the public remarks, and then just, tweaks it a little bit, what AI does, and then you can change the style. So usually what I do, yes.
How did you get the AI? Sorry, I missed that one.
Oh, yeah, I just clicked on one of these and then it just populated it. And then you can click suggest with AI. We'll just push all the buttons just so you can see. So it's already pulling the data from the MLS, but it's just gonna craft it more so it's not a totally blank box that you're just like, I don't know what to do. The other thing too is with the listing agent's permission, a lot of times you're advertising a listing that's not yours. And so if it's my listing, like move over AI, I'll write this, but a lot of times I don't know the cool features of the property. So I lean on it pulling in some of the info, which this would be a great example. I've seen about this property. So, let's just read through what it gave us. So this is your chance to own a stunning single family detached home. Single family. Spacious home. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, I just kind of want to show you like organically what I would normally do. Less is more with ads. With modern features. Let's see. Okay, I mean, you guys are all gonna be better at this. Click learn more for additional photos. Price and info is kind of my go-to. And then I'm gonna go click apply. So once I click apply, I'm gonna look over on the right and make sure it's laid out how I want it to look. Sometimes I like little quote, and then probably want to remove it. What I usually do as a headline is something that is called action focus. Which is as simple as for this home today. As an agent, that seems completely obvious that I have access to for the house. And yet, part of the call to action is, hey, do you want to look at these photos? Hey, do you want me to get you in the house to look at these? So just write down, if you're taking notes, just write down, have your headline be call to action based would be my suggestion.
Kimber, we've got a question.
Yes.
If it's somebody else's listing,
Mhm.
do you know that, I mean, you have to know that. So how do you do that?
Yeah, so, in the ad, so this is, where's broker? Okay, just pile into what I'm about to say and correct me. But this is just according to what I remember my broker saying. With this linking to, an IDX feed, which has the current, listing agent, it has the current listing brokerage, it also has all of the current data. That helps me with the compliance of making sure that I represent who has listed it. However, I could go sideways on that if I said, come check out my new listing, and in the wording, not represent that correctly.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think it's
There you
one
go.
click, right?
Yeah, one click that's apparent, but then specifically with other
It's a
people
two-part
listing.
question though, that I have
Yeah.
to ask, are you talking about a listing that we have in our brokerage, in our doors? Or are we talking about a friend that works at XYZ Realty?
XYZ Realty.
Either.
Because XYZ
Yeah, let's
Realty,
clarify.
the rules are different. Okay, you gotta say courtesy of, and you gotta disclose that stuff.
Courtesy of equity
Yeah.
advantage, blah, blah, blah.
If it's someone within our doors, it's not as big of a deal because we give permission for us to market each other's listings. However, as a courtesy, reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm gonna run an ad on your listing, is that okay? So,
You got to say that automatically, but courtesy of XYZ.
No, that wouldn't. Nope, yeah. So those are really good questions, because obviously we wanna make sure you guys are in compliance. And that is where I would start, if I have no listings and I want to advertise on social media. The first thing I'm gonna do is pull up the MLS, search my office, and start going through those listings, because then I can click on a listing and I'm like, oh, I know Eden, I'll call her and ask her if I can do an ad. Personally, I've done a lot and I've never had someone tell me, no, you cannot advertise. I haven't either. But-
You've always asked, though.
But I've always asked, yeah, with, agents that, so because I do a lot of advertising. If an agent is, they usually have a couple of listings a month, they're a pretty consistent producer. I may ask them, are you okay if I do that? Moving forward, if I see any listings pop up where I wanna do a social media ad, so I can kind of get the. Like, I'm okay to do her, like, promote her listing.
Make sure that's in writing, so go with an email. or-
Yeah, I'm just a command person. I have no, I have a sales agent license, like, very.
Just make sure it's in writing, because you gotta have permission from both listing agent and the seller. The seller may not, the listing agent may not ask the seller if that's okay. They come back on the agent, and the agent's gonna have amnesia.
Yeah.
Say, oh, I didn't give them permission.
Oh, that's a good point.
So make sure it's in writing. If it's a text message, keep it. If it's an email, keep it. The fine for not getting permission is $1,500, and you'll have your license put on probation for a year. So it's not something that's taken like.
If you're saying MLS number and you have a link right through, it's just part of the IDX, so isn't it?
It's a courtesy, ask for permission.
These are good questions. Okay. So what I'm gonna do,
It's abundance mentality. For someone to give their permission.
oh, wow, we didn't need that. You guys wanna see? Now I can't zoom out. Oh. Okay, we're fine now. Hey, whoa. Okay, I swear. Okay.
They give people. Other than-
Yeah, I just really want to help you see. Well, it's like. I just really jacked it up. It's weird because when it came back, it didn't reach right. It was like. Yay. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna try and search this property. Again, it's got a lot of coordinates, sometimes that gets scary. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. I'm scared now. Hmm. I'm gonna just click search. Okay, so what I'm doing. There it is. There we go. So this is what I am doing. I am the agent that's advertising this listing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna search the house on my website or any website that you have. This is a KW site. Because not only do I want them to get what they wanted, which is the pictures, I also want them to go straight to my website. So then maybe they spend a little bit of time here and they're like, oh, cool, that's the agent. Like, what else does she have on her website? Maybe I'll keep searching. Maybe I'll actually like sign up for her website. Yeah.
So that's generally what I do. I have it planned on that home on my web page.
Perfect.
So, but to be in compliant, is there somewhere on there that it says that it's not listed with me, it's somebody else?
Yeah, so right here it says
Oh,
courtesy of
there it is.
KW Success. It's kind of small. It would have been better if we kept it on Zoom. KW Success, Keller Williams Realty, Rodna Bergner.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's a good. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to campaigns, and this is what I am gonna paste in here. One thing I want to stress, always click this preview URL button. I had this happen real time where I went and pasted this. I didn't grab the last number on the listing. And so then it was a broken link. So not only would I have not sent them to a site they could search for homes, I didn't send them anywhere. So I always click that preview URL button and you could see that page popped up, so we're good to go. These last two things go by really quick. So lead setting. If you have a single agent account, what you're looking at looks a little bit different. So as a single agent, you don't have the option for lead routes because there is no route for the leads. You're the agent doing ads. You're the agent that gets the lead. If you're a team, you will have the option for a lead route. These are set up ahead of time. So one thing I want to pause on with the new paid ads experience that's different is that you don't have a save or a draft feature. If you did paid ads in the past, that's usually where we ended up with serious issues with people not being able to do Facebook ads, having it do errors, because, and the reasoning that it was explained to me is that Meta updates their procedures, their policies, all of the things of how they do ads on the back end so much that an agent would draft an ad and come back sometimes 2 days later, and then it would cause an error because it was basically created in an old experience. So I'm not saying forever it will be like this, but for now, there isn't a save option. Meaning if you're gonna do a Facebook ad, you need to have the time to do that ad at that time. There's not a save, go back later. I'm obviously going through this in detail with a fine-tooth comb, but you can see that it's really not going to take you too long to actually process the ad, but there's not a save feature. Okay, I brought that up now because lead route is something that if you wanted to set all of your Facebook ad leads on a lead route, you'd want to do that prior to starting that. And we should have a little bit of time at the end, so I can skim over that for those that are on a team. It's really easy in Command and it's pretty simple. It's just basic to think of, like, for example, I set up a lead route as a round robin. So then I say, okay, I want this to go through all of my team members and then come back to the top, and then go through all of them and come back to the top. Or I could just say, hey, for these specific leads, I'm gonna have them all go to my agent, Kimber. Kimber is gonna get all the Facebook online leads. And so you can designate that that person will get all of them. So those are just some examples of lead routes. If you're a single agent, you have the option for tags and smart plans. So why you would pick this is if you want a tag immediately affiliated with that lead, it will auto be sourced. So you'll have an auto lead source attached to it. But if for some reason you wanted a tag attached to it as well, then you could say, hey, every time I get a lead, I want this specific tag to be tagged. If I haven't already created it, I can create a new tag. And like, so let's say I just picked that as an example.
Like you could do the address of the house you're renting it.
Yep. Yep. And then under smart plans, so what's gonna pop up right here is anything that you have in your smart plan library. So that's another thing that we need to think about ahead of time is, and that's where I said the plan that we release next week will be great for this because you'll be able to go and download that plan. And then it will be on your list and you'll just say, every lead that I get, I just want to be on this plan. Assuming that you look at the content and want to send it. But there will already be a solution. In smart plans, there's a lot of options out there. You could just search like Facebook lead follow-up. You'll get plenty of options. my disclaimer with Smart Plan Library is there are 180,000 agents in KW that can publish whatever they want, which makes it amazing. There's so much content in there. Also 180,000 people like unmanaged, unregulated, can just post whatever they want. Which is never a bad thing. It's just a very like, you might get a Facebook follow-up plan that has a text that says, hey, here's these poems that I thought you might be interested in. Insert link here in parentheses. And so if you don't like go and look at that content and you just add people to that, you're like, cool, Facebook follow-up plan. And then they get that text and it's like, insert link here. And I mean, worst case, they're gonna say, where's the link? But I mean, best case, worst case is they're like, this lady doesn't know what she's doing. So I always just say smart plan responsibly. When you download it, go to the edit pencil and review what you're gonna be sending your client. Okay, last thing, once you go and upload your DVA logo once, or what you put in here, it will be in here forever. So I'm just gonna go and select that. And now that will be on there. One thing I've sent as feedback is it doesn't show on here, but it is on there. It's just kind of bugs me that it doesn't reflect. And then you can include ownership statements or not include it. Do you have anything to add on that, including or not including each office is independently operated? Okay, neither do I. It gives an option. Yeah. The Division of Real Estate would like you to put your Dewey business app. Yeah. Okay, so then last page. Proceed to next step. We are going to select the duration. We are going to select the budget. And then the nice thing is once you put in your billing card in here, your card will save. So you can just process the payment really quick. Duration. This is part of you testing duration, like what works and what doesn't work. I usually do mine for 7 days. And I'll usually not keep the ad spend under $5 a day. Command will alert you. So if you like, I'm just gonna keep dragging it. If I'm at like $2.50 a day, it's like you're not, or $3.33 a day, it's like you're not spending enough per day to make this worth it. So it's like stopping you. So I usually stay between like $5 and $8 a day. Honestly, the default, wherever, like, let's say I go and say, okay, I want to do it for 7 days. And I want to spend 50. Usually I think most agents look at it like that. If they have an amount they want to spend per ad. So just make sure that your per ad spend meets the daily requirement. If it doesn't, and you're like, but I only want to spend $45, then I would lessen the duration to get more impact.
And then your bid, is that just your click-through rate? So every time somebody clicks on it, it's that whatever your bid is. So you're not spending necessarily the $45 a week unless you get the click-through rate, is that right?
So on this ad, the $45 is just for this ad. So I'll do one ad and it's basically going to put it in front of as many people as possible with the radius and the requirements that I've given. And because I'm doing it for 7 days, more that I spend per day, the more people are going to potentially get more impressions.
So you're going to spend the full $45 no matter
Exactly.
your click-through rate.
Okay. Yep. Good question though to be brought up, and we'll go through it on the next page. You can actually cancel ads now in between, and we'll go through that.
Yeah, so have we gotten to where you click your audience yet, or is that included? Does Facebook just figure that out? Because I always feel like I mess that up.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit more intuitive for these ads to make it more simple. We're gonna pull that up in the last 15 minutes. The Google ad, what's cool is the audience, it basically is pre-selected. And I'll show you the list. You can go and add additional keywords, but it's not like it was before where it didn't have any keywords and you had to go and add like first time home buyer, like most of the things you could think in your head right now are on that list, and I'll show you that.
But on Facebook, I don't have to worry about that.
No, not at all. That's a really good question, thank you. Okay, so if I click purchase now, that thing's going through. We're good to go. I promise you, it won't take 45 minutes for you to. But do you feel like you are more comfortable to do it?
I know that Facebook has like their new special ad requirements, right? In order for you to run something as such as housing, right? So it targets 18 and older. Will this bypass that or automatically accept that special ad request? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so look at it like the new meta ads or the ads through here.
Yeah.
As you're going to see the same guardrails more or less. And
will
it
it
just,
bump back saying you don't meet requirements because it's not special ad or you didn't click special ad?
I am not 100% sure on that question.
Okay.
Let me know if you hit something. We did one ad, it was for Keller Williams Young Professionals. And we did have to tweak the wording a little bit because we were using, but we did find out about it after the fact. It didn't like flag it, it just like purchase.
Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, so pretend I pushed send. Okay, so this is my alert that says, do you want to discard? Like it's telling you you're about to lose all this info and all this. However, if you ever wanted to go back to page 1, like I need to tweak something on that ad. Don't click the back button, just click on the 1 and it'll take you back to that first page and you still haven't lost. Okay. But this will make me lose what I just did. So 5. Okay. So the next thing I want to point out, you've got all these little categories, right? So this is the dashboard, but this is them all organized into drawers. So let's say I had 5 listing ads running right now. If I wanted to go and see how those ads are doing, I would go in listings and click on programs, and it would list out all the ads that I have either running or had previously run in the listing category. Does that make sense? This is where we go and look at previous ads. I'm gonna go click on one. I think this is the right one. Okay. So this is an example. I did this, I broke my own rule with this one. And I feel like that's why I got a little bit higher cost per lead, but I want to show you an example. So when I click on any ad, it will show me if I have all of the metrics on it, the ad, an example of the ad, which I love because in the previous ads, it's like you posted it and then someone's like, that ad is really good. Like, what did you pay in it? And you're like, I had to like screenshot it and like create a random filing system. Alex is like going, I remember that. You could never go back. So you were like, I did great and I don't. So we're here now. So this way you could be like, wow, I'm at $1 a lead. What did I say? Or I need to do more of that. You'll have your ad example. And then down here, it will actually show you all of the leads that came in from just this ad. So you can have the summary of it. It's all going to be in contact. You're going to be able to filter by source or by tag if you ended up giving the ad that example. But you'll also be able to see them per ad. This is your full, like, what happened with this ad. If you are, so I don't have any active ones for his account, so I'm just gonna walk you through this. Let's say you posted it and it had the address and you're like, oh, I want to cancel this. I don't think this is gonna do well. I want to stop the ad. If you go click cancel, what it will do is pop up a box that reflects how much you are going to get refunded. So I will give you a real world example. I did a $50 ad. The next day, I said, okay, I'm not gonna do the ad anymore. And so I went to click cancel, and it wasn't the exact per day spend, meaning if it said $5 a day it was gonna spend, it said I was gonna get back like 44, 43, right? There is a small processing fee that you get charged. It's very small, but you do get charged a processing fee to cancel it. However, majority of your ad, based on how much time you have left, you will get refunded. And it'll tell you if you click on the little like question mark, but just so you know, that is something you can do now. And let's say maybe you have some wording that you want to tweak a little bit, you can even edit an ad after you post it. That's all. Yeah. Dang. Okay. So because we have 10 minutes, we're doing good. I want to show you really quick an example of a Google ad. So I can go click attract sellers or attract buyers. So I'm just gonna go click attract buyers. And then similar questions, what zip code do you want? What city do you want to target? You can choose up to 5 locations. You put a destination URL. So this is wherever you want them to go. So if you don't have like your KW site set up, you don't have an agent website, this would be a great time to like get that set up, make sure it's looking good, because you're gonna have somewhere where they're gonna land, right? And let's say I'm just gonna put in a zip code. I'm gonna put in an area. And this is just an example. You do not do anything with Google Ads. Basically, it says, give me your money and I will put it where it needs to go. It sounds kind of like I need better trust issues. I need to get rid of my trust for this. But they're gonna write all of it. So it just says, find your dream home, whatever home you're looking for, find your perfect home with Keller Williams today. Here's your location. It's basically what you've seen a million times on YouTube when you've been looking at some shoes that you like. You know, Google ads are nice because they follow people everywhere, and they follow people not only on what they have searched. I hate to break it to all of us, but it's also on what we're saying, right? So where I want to explain this to you is the keyword question that came up that was really good. So if I go click add right here, I'm going to go click this little link that says see all default keywords. These are the, for sellers and buyers. Again, this is an answers article, so answers are great, you guys. I'm just wanting to throw that out there. So on buyers, all of those categories, I don't have to put that in there. I can assume those areas are being targeted. Things like affordable houses for sale, buy a home fast, buying a house, first time home buyer, homes for sale, houses for sale, even the gated community or golf courses, homes. So we're targeting even those little things like that, property for sale, vacation homes, and then on the seller side, selling home tips, finding an agent, an experienced agent, an expert agent. So it's really honing in on how people search for finding an agent down to the adjective. So it's saying the same thing multiple ways. So all of these are already on your campaign when you do a Google ad. If you had additional things you wanted to target, that's where you would go add them. And you can do affirmative and negative, meaning you can remove things that you don't want. Does that make sense? The things that you don't, people you don't want to attract. I'm gonna say people, more like areas that you don't want to attract. Areas of, let me give you an example. Like if you're like, hey, I don't want to sell like mobile homes, or a specific, like I don't want to go with like salt. I don't know about this area, right? Like you could put negative words on there. Okay, any questions about that? This is 4 steps. So And it's just gonna follow people.
Where's that? So down, where you at?
Yeah, so this is under, programs, okay, I'm gonna lose it. So that's okay. Okay, so dashboard, I just picked either tax sellers or tax buyers. So I get that question a lot, how do I target sellers? That's like, sometimes it's like the $1 million question. This could be a solution for that, attracting sellers right here. I'm picking an area, I'm telling it, so if someone says, yeah, I do need an expert real estate agent, I do need a top agent. And they click on it, that's where they're gonna go. So. It is definitely more of a traffic ad in that, if that makes sense. And then proceed to last step, it's the same thing, where you're going in and putting in duration and your payment info. Yeah,
What's this, where do you pull the landing?
the landing page is your own. So it's not as directed as it's on a listing. So what I would do on my example, like I would just put kimberwalton.kw.com.
So it would just go to my generic one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even write this or anything. They
No.
just come up with it.
No. They're like,
How
leave
do
it
you
to us,
know
it'll
it
be $250 this month. Yeah, so the other page that I already did the ad, the next page, the duration is, it's a monthly subscription. So 10 days before it renews, you cancel if you don't want to continue it. And that, it starts at $250 and you can toggle that and make it even higher. I don't necessarily tout myself as a Google Ads expert. I do though suggest a lot of agents do Google Ads and have done them in the past on their own, independent of Command. Command does now just offers it. I would give you the recommendation of any other lead gen strategy that you have, which is how much do I want to put into this strategy for how much time? And at what point am I going to play red light, green light to hold that expense accountable, look back and realize, wow, I've gotten 4 deals out of that. Like, I feel busy now. You're going to make that decision, green light, maybe spend more. Or, I don't think I'm getting any deals out of it. Let's just remove that as part of our lead
And
strategy.
so you don't really have a way to capture anybody's information on this. This is just if they happen to call you and you say, hey, how did you find out about me? And they'll say, I found you on Google.
Yeah.
Okay. And you personally, I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but you personally, have you found that it worked for you?
I personally have never done Google Ads, but I'm not like the person for them for like a top producing agent.
You feel like people are getting a result from Google Ads, from my experience, I've gotten like the best return on Facebook specifically, like there's ads that I've run up on like 27 leads, and like I would say 70% of them were like legit information.
And if you follow up with them long enough,
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to make
Yeah.
bump up that even more. I would say for Command, it's a little too new as far as it being in our platform. I will tell you though, for the agents I know that have done, Google Ads, they speak positively of it, but they've done it for a decent amount of time. And it's almost like it feels like a feeling where they're like, I just feel busier. But I mean, at some point, depending on how many ways you're spending money to get leads, I get that. I am more of that analytical, like, okay, I put it there, I get that money out, like, what's the return on investment? The whole like, it was a feeling I'm getting more business. I don't necessarily channel that energy. I'm more of a control freak. So I would say definitely I hear positive things about Google Ads. And I also feel like it is more of an investment and you definitely want to be able to commit to it for a longer time. And I would define longer time as at least 6 months.
It's more like a brand recognition or like mind share, right? Or
Mhm.
just capture.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like that's like, I'm answering a little bit indirectly, but yeah.
Just
And
a quick
Duffy,
note on how do you know where you got them? Anybody that's calling you, you should be able to identify where that lead came from. That's part of your business plan. right? Cause you should be able to look back and say, of the leads I have this amount that are filtered that when I talk to them, they're in the Google Ads. I have this amount that I've got a tag that they were in Facebook ads, right? That's gonna help give you direction in your business planning future forward of where should you spend your money. If you don't ask people where they heard about you, there's no way for you to track that. Does that make sense? Like, even if it's through Facebook, right? You're gonna tag it that way. But if somebody randomly called you, hey, how did you hear about me? Right?
That's your autopilot.
So
You're
you
always
should
gonna
always,
have
and then
that,
you should tag them appropriately so that you can go through and evaluate when you're getting ready for your business plan to say, of the leads I got this year, I got X amount from here, X amount from here, X amount from here. Do I want to continue with those three sources? Or are they all still are they giving me the return just like Kimber said, red light, green light? Do they get a red light for next year or the next 6 months, or are they getting a red light?
You know, our sign writers that we have for the call capture. Josh Stern, when he goes ahead and posts ads, he doesn't just use one phone number, he'll use a sign writer. Because then that number is tied back to where he posted the ad. So he can track, like, oh, this person randomly called me, but they called me on this number. So I know it came off of this ad.
yeah. I love that, just because, I mean, obviously Josh that's the best source for anything sometimes. As far as like how you're gonna capture more business and more leads, and get creative with that, right? And at the minimum, think about, why would I give am I putting something out there that I would wanna give them my information? I love writers for that reason, because if I can just silently text you and you're not a person, you're not gonna call me, you're not gonna bug me, like, I'm just gonna get the info I need. Like, we all know in the back of our mind when we text for the detail of the listing, someone has our info now. And, that is way more conducive to getting the lead than the worst case. Probably the worst ad I've ever done is like a CMA ad. But if you guys know about CMAs, how much information, personal information, do you need from somebody in order to do an accurate CMA? How long have you lived there? 30 minutes, like, average house, like. Just again, we are complete strangers on the internet, not even just strangers like, hi, I just met you, I want to meet you after class. It's also like, you're an internet stranger. That's like even worse. And so you want to capture the lead first, get the value on the other end, right? Like, you are the best agent for them to work with, but if you don't capture the lead, then you're not going to be able to give them that experience that you give all your other clients, right? So think about the lead generating side, tiny bit different, like that example, more creative. And then ultimately you're going to be able to work with more people and give them more value. Yeah. Any other questions? Just about like logistics. Okay, so I'm gonna show you one more thing with like, we're 60 seconds over. So if you guys all start walking out, I'm not even gonna be offended. I respect your. So now that I told you, I'm gonna go back into command and get in the other way. I'll just log in. Okay, so now that I am just logging into command, I just went to Kimber's class and I want to go do ads, but like I totally forgot how she got into it. So you can get into it through settings. The other way is if you go to campaigns, which is this nice little megaphone right here. Under the paid ads experience, so if I wanted to go into listing ads, this would take me straight to listing ads. This link would take me straight to that attract buyer sellers, and then any of these will take you into that new paid ads experience. Last thing, this below, these are just your legacy ads. So if you had some ads running prior to the new experience, they'll just stay right here. You'll be able to see those analytics and that data from before. All the new ads are going to be on the new platform. The last thing I'll point out is these 3 videos. If you have time, go and watch them. So this one is basically just a summary of the beginning part of the class where we talked about what ads are what. The middle one is more of the walkthrough of setting your Facebook ad account up, linking it, if you had any issues linking it. this video is gonna walk you through that. Again, these are only like 10-minute videos, so they're brief. And then this is just an interview that David Voorhees did with an agent that is a high producer and gets a lot of internet leads per year. It's just interviewing him how he increased his conversion with getting leads online. So those 3 videos are really a good trifecta for the after hours help on how to do paid ads. Hey. Yeah. And
And then you're gonna be here for a while.
yeah, I'll be here for a minute if you guys have questions or I need to come look at your laptops or, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Hold on one second, I think. So Silverback is here for lunch, but I think they had to leave to go get some more food. So, they'll be back in just a second. So if you guys wanna start grabbing something, you can do that and then come and hang out for a while and then let's give them a big thank you when she gets here, so. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Have a good day. We're on to some cool stuff, huh?
Yeah.
So excited. It's awesome. Love it. Everything's kind of coming to fruition. Finally. 5 years later. Hey, have a good day, everybody. Have a good
What a mess today. What's the one who spoke? Jill Stringham? Yeah.
Let's see.